Okay, the nonfiction book I chose to read for my independent reading was Gerrard, My Autobiography. It's a book written by the English soccer player Steven Gerrard, and it was published 3 years ago. And my name is Willie Thompson. And this next slide is a video about him scoring some goals. Stylistic aspects of the book. I noticed two main tones. The first tone he used was a casual, relaxed tone, and he used this when he described his family, his childhood, his youth, and his reflection of his career so far. And the second tone that I noticed he used was an aggressive, vulgar tone, and he uses this when he discusses game situations and whenever he voices his opinions about people in the game, politics even sometimes. It's an autobiography, so he wrote it in first person, and he wrote it in chronological order. Alright, some of the themes / claims I picked up while reading this book. The first theme I noticed was that he really tried to portray himself as a family man. You can see his 2 daughters right there. He writes in great detail whenever he describes his family, the family that he had as a child, and the family he has now, his wife and his 2 daughters. The second theme I picked up was how he prides himself on his exemplary sportsmanship, both on and off the field. He talks about how he's able to leave it all on the field. He doesn't hold grudges or anything. How he respects the referee, and how that he sees that mentality kind of decreasing in the modern game as everyone's just trying to win. He also talks about the emotional toll that the game, being a professional athlete, takes on you. And he really does talk about the stress that is put upon his shoulders as he is the captain of the team and an emblem of the city of Liverpool. Alright, the diction he used, the diction is humorous and rather relaxed. He considers himself a Scouse lad, and he says that throughout the book. Scouse is a term that people from Liverpool use to distinguish themselves from the rest of England. England's in the northwestern corner of England, and they do pride themselves in being separate from the mainlanders. Scouse utilizes a separate set of vocabulary from English. They use this. There are a few. It's kind of a dialect, and they do have a few words that I've never seen before and had to look up. Whenever he describes game situations, he does use encapsulating verbs, and he really does kind of put you on the field with him. He doesn't hold back with his curse words in the book, and it's very genuine. He is English, so he does utilize swear words quite a bit. And content distribution. This is kind of what I think the book is. How he spreads out his time in the book. Alright, so the first 20% of the book is him discussing his childhood, his environment where he grew up in. The second 15%, then the next 15% of the book is about him rising through the ranks of Liverpool as a youth playing. My favorite 25% is the game time that the time he discusses. He recalls significant games he's had. He just kind of gives you insight on what actually happens on the field compared to what you see from the camera. And then an emotional 25% of the book is him discussing his wife and kids and the impact they've had on him. And just bits and pieces throughout the book. I'd say about 15% of the book is spent he gives his opinions on various issues. From all sorts of things, from politics to players he doesn't like playing with, how he thinks the team should be set up. This is my favorite quote. We won a free kick in a terrific position on the edge of Wycombe's box. 5 of us gathered around the ball. I took responsibility. I'm on it, I said. Let me have it, said Macca. Macca's a player on his team. We all respected Macca's ability with a free kick, but this one was all me. However, Robbie, standing behind me, had other ideas. He sneaked up behind me as I set the ball down and whacked it into the top corner before I realized what happened. He raced towards the corner flag in celebration, followed closely by Macca and I, who both had hopes of giving him a good throttle. And Robbie's another player. And I like this quote because it kind of summarizes what you get from this book. I remember actually watching this game and watching this goal, and it looked like they were having a good time celebrating on the field, but it turns out they were actually kind of angry at him as it wasn't his responsibility to take the free kick, and it was kind of a playful, angry chase to the corner flag, and I didn't actually see that. I thought they were just celebrating normally when I watched the game. Alright, some insight in the book. He talks about the England setup. When you play soccer, you play for a club team, and then you get called up to a national team, and he plays for England. And he talks about the setup there, how he loves playing for his country, even though there are other players who don't like playing for their country. He doesn't name names, but he kind of hints at the people. He talks about transfer controversy, like players he doesn't think should be on his team, players he wishes he played with, and he does talk about the taboo subject of the manager. And most autobiographies written by soccer players don't touch on the manager because the manager is pretty much the team. But he does talk about his manager, the good things, the bad things, previous managers he's had, and I do like how he gives his opinion on those issues. Final thoughts. I don't think I would recommend this book to a Grove student. You really have to be a soccer fanatic to really appreciate this book and have a little bit of background information about who Steven Gerrard is to really appreciate. It is thoroughly entertaining for a soccer enthusiast, and there are some really nice pictures that he put throughout this book that give you really good background information. Like he'll take them in the locker room, or he'll show you pictures of his house, which he doesn't have any videos or anything about. And yeah, that's about it.